Hi everybody, welcome to the third installment of TVSpy this week.
Yes, and it is the social media episode.
That's
we
right.
Can't wait. Originally, we were going to do the station
It was
group.
going to be a station group
the
episode.
station group
Had
episode.
Lots to talk about.
Lots to talk about, but we found a new thread this morning,
That's
so
right.
we're going to go with it.
Things are happening, so are the developing stories.
Yes, okay, here's the top three. You pick it.
Top story this week, WJLA Scott Thuman got the first question at the Donald Trump Justin Trudeau presser. His question was about the U.S.-Canadian relationship.
Right. But everybody was wondering why didn't he ask about the big controversy that was going on at that time.
Right,
Mike
the elephant
Flynn,
room, who was sitting in the front.
Sitting in the front row, Mike Flynn, who has since resigned. But, Scott didn't ask that question. He asked a topical question, and I think some people were wondering, well, why didn't he go for the controversy, right? And
Right.
I don't know. Listen, he might have gotten direction from his station to ask that question, and in which case, what can he do?
So the other question this raises is that Thuman comes from the Sinclair Broadcast Group, he comes from WJLA, and Sinclair is always viewed as a conservative-leaning station group.
Yes, and I think the speculation, at least amongst reporters or other news outlets, is that will the White House throw to reporters who maybe are more supportive of the administration during tough times, which we don't know the answer to that.
Right.
This is all speculation. So,
Exactly.
We're just reporting what we know.
Yes.
Not making opinions here. But it does lead to our top two story. Another Sinclair station, WWMT, has made the news.
Yes, WWMT in Kalamazoo fired its EP.
Yeah.
She was accused of sending out a couple of tweets that were
A little left-leaning.
a little left-leaning about
personal opinion.
Yeah, about Betsy DeVos, the new education secretary, who's controversial enough. I checked one of the tweets. It was kind of funny, but it definitely had an opinion to it.
This is a hard one. I mean, we reached out to Sinclair for a comment about a couple things, including one of these stories. They weren't available for an interview. Here is my personal opinion about social media in the news. I think fair and balanced needs to apply to social media. Listen, I just don't think reporters, EPs, anybody behind the scenes should be tweeting their personal opinions about politics, especially now.
Exactly. As Wayne Friedman told me when I interviewed him about a story, is keep your political opinions to yourself. I think that's an excellent advice. The woman in question who was fired did admit to her friend who writes for the Daily, I always want to say the Daily Banter, and that's exactly what it's called, the Daily Banter.
The Daily Banter,
yes,
okay.
Because I always think of the Daily Planet, I think of Superman for some reason. She admitted that she did violate Sinclair's social media policy. So if you do that, I'm sure there are consequences.
And we're going to ask this question later in the show.
Yes.
But the big question here is, what are station groups or station social media policies? It sounds like a lot of people, especially in the digital departments, are struggling with this because it's ever changing.
Right, and a lot of people think if they put the little disclaimer on their Twitter handle saying these
opinions
are my
own.
exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think that counts.
I don't either. I don't either. I agree with you, and I also think that be safe. It's like safe or sorry. What's
safe
that word?
tweeting.
Yeah, safe tweeting. Better safe than sorry. That's what I was going for. What's our top three? Number three.
It's a Stephanie Pick'em. We can either do.
This is new.
Yes, we can do social media breaking news, or we can do the Spectrum auction.
Let's go with social media Twitter war in Florida, because I used to work in Florida, and it is like Anchorman down there. People are serious about their news.
People cannonballing into pools.
I literally almost knifed my competition when I was down there.
At least
Not
you didn't
really.
have a trident.
No.
And a man on fire.
But I actually like this person. She's lovely. But
Well, Jim DeFeedy tweeted out this morning. Actually, it was 11 hours ago when I printed this out. So
you sent that to me this morning.
Yeah, it was last night. Jim DeFeedy is the investigative reporter at WFOR, the CBS-owned station. He went after WPLG, which is the ABC station down there. They're campaigning against express lanes in South Florida.
We're finally hearing a plan for the express lanes that makes sense. Get rid of them.
Jim has basically put it out on Twitter that there might be some motive here.
And he writes, is WPLG really running commercials and using its website to pimp anti-express lanes petition? Hashtag fake journalism. So.
Listen,
that's me lighting the fire.
How many retweets does it have as of today? 3,
many.
5 likes, 1 reply. Okay, listen. If that's what you want to do, put it on a social media platform to try to, I don't understand what Jim, maybe you can answer this. What was your motive here? What did you want to do? Make your viewers aware that maybe the other station was doing this?
Right.
Were you trying to intimidate? I don't really know.
Just against political opinions?
Right.
I've seen this before in other stations, so it's nothing new. I'm sure he's seen it.
Yes.
I'm sure you've seen it.
Well, you've done a thread of stories about these sorts of Twitter wars in other local markets. And my former market, which was Fort Myers, the news director of WBBH, has fired off tweets to their competition, Wink.
Yes, he goes after Wink regularly. I'd say every July he goes after Wink for their Doppler radar, for their drones.
Yes. Can't fly a drone without a license.
Exactly.
Right?
You can't.
Can't, actually.
And you can't claim a drone is yours when you're renting it. There's a lot, there's
We're being tongue-in-cheek here, but I mean, it's
there's a lot of Twitter
very
storm
passive-aggressive.
Yes.
Very.
There's a lot of battling going on down in Florida. I want to know why.
Movers, this week we've got some firings and hirings. Oh.
We do. I get the first one this time. Nexstar is putting its stamp on its news stations. Since the deal closed, their $4.6 billion deal buying Media General, we've reported they've replaced 7 GMs at old Media General stations. So that's kind of a big move. I mean, not a big surprise. That's kind of what you do when you buy something. You put your stamp on it.
So from that to hirings, I know 2 people that got hired and are moving within the past week or 2. Jessica Grunling, she went to Temple University, was in Anchorage, Alaska. I met her a couple years ago when we did her reel. She was the sports director in Anchorage for almost 3 years. And now she's in College Station, Texas, she's an MMJ sports reporter. Anyway, good luck to you. And then this is an interesting one. I worked with Sarah Hollenbeck in Fort Myers, Florida. Florida's is a theme this time too, apparently.
It's the Florida episode.
She went from the CBS affiliate in Tampa to the ABC affiliate in Tampa. We don't see that much, right? You just saw it recently.
Yeah, I did in Toledo, but it was because the one Toledo shop was basically shutting down because of Sinclair.
Right.
Another thread.
Yeah.
And so this anchor got a job at the rival station, the CBS affiliate.
And it seemed like a celebratory move. Well, anyway, congratulations to everybody. And if you have any movers, we always are just like plugging for this. Agents, even if it's, you're getting a job and it's not on anybody's radar, please email Kevin.
Yes, you can go to our On the Move post at the bottom, and there's an email address that you can send into. It's tvspy@adweek.com, or you can email me directly at kevin.eck@adweek.com. A great way to let us know where you're going and what's going on.
Yeah, we just want to know. All right, that's that block. And next, interview.
New Skype interview with the
TVSpy
people.
I like them.
Yeah.
I just think that their mission's really awesome, innovative. And for anybody that feels really stale in the business, it's at least inspiration. We'll see if it sticks. I don't know.
Well, they're trying to change things up, that's all you can ask for.
So I got a Skype interview with Ellen Crook, the VP of News for Tegna, and she told me about their mission. Take a listen.
Well, I'm inspired by the journalists, over 2,000 journalists that work for Tegna every day. My mission is just to drive the bulldozer to break the ground and get rid of the barriers for them. They inspire myself and Patty Dennis, the other Vice President of News, and our job is to work for them. They inspire us, and our job is to do what they are telling us they want to have done, and what they want, what they so desperately want, and what we hear from them on a regular basis. They want to do things differently. What we want to do is feed our audience with what they're asking for, and innovation surrounding great stories filled with emotion, surrounding the people and the towns and the issues that they care about. And what needs to be done in order to do that is we have to break the assembly line of regular local news. And that's going to that's going to take a little bit of courage. It's going to take a little bit of messiness. Our boss, Lynn Beal, the COO of Tegna, tells us every day, this is not going to be easy, and it's going to get messy, and it's not going to be a straight line, and we understand that. But what we are looking to do is to help our journalists find a way to get out of this assembly line of local news that we have been doing for decades, and we do it because there has been a business for that.
Sure.
There has been a business that allows us to easily and profitably create these newscasts that are filled with commodity news.
Yes.
News that you see everywhere, that's easy to produce, but we need to break the mold. I've had many people tell me that they were ready to get out of the business, that they are inspired to stay in the business. I've had people who've left the business who've come back in, and there are many people who are still caught in the rat race, to be honest with you and to be frank, who are still, producing that 10 o'clock news, who still are saying, the jury's out. I'm still producing this 10 o'clock news every night,
I can imagine that the journalists that are on board are really inspired and excited, but then there's that whole other level of creating original content. If my parents only knew, in the background we see, that's just one of the shows or whatever you want to call them, pilots you're producing. And you can talk specifically about the one at KHOU if you'd like.
Sure. So if my parents only knew, this is just a great example of how we're going about original content and really trying to break the mold. These 5 parts are all told through the voices and through the point of view of kids.
So are there any reporters tracking in this, or is it all just people?
No reporter track.
Right.
No reporter track. You don't hear one voice from the reporters. And it is fascinating. So we know that the audience in prime time are parents. And so that is our target audience. Mm-hmm. And what you learn, so as a parent.
You had a model at Tegna for years, Gannett and Tegna. And now it's like, let's just mess it all up and see what happens. Is that scary? I mean, for you, for the people, let's be honest, there's emotions attached to these things. It's like starting your own business again,
It could be 2 things. It could be really frightening, and we could be terrified as you see some companies being terrified to try anything new.
Yes, exactly.
And that's why so many of us love working for Tegna, because just as you said, the mentality and what we get from our boss, Lynn Beal and Dave Luigi, is let's try it.
Go.
And
right.
There isn't a fear of failure. If it doesn't work, let's fail fast.
Right.
Try it. If it doesn't work, then we move on.
Right.
And we'll try things, and things that don't work, that's okay. We learned from them.
Yeah.
But there is a theory that we have of fail fast. Try it and move on quickly, but learn from it and go on. But there isn't a fear of trying different things.
You mentioned in the interview that what you liked about them was that they're subverting the dominant paradigm.
That's very fancy of you. Yes. I think we were going to go with from bottom up, but I'll go with that.
Okay,
yes,
yes,
I can read between the lines, Kevin, you smarty pants. Ellen told me in this interview that that a lot of these ideas are coming from 20-something hires that they've brought on recently right out of college, and they're helping inspire the news directors and the senior producers, et cetera, about what they should be doing on a digital. From a digital perspective, and I thought that was great because now there's all of these new opportunities for young people to get into newsrooms in a really creative, out-of-the-box way.
Which is really what local TV needs. It needs an infusion of youth and great minds.
New eyes.
New eyes, yes, exactly.
Right?
A lot of those people who are going into tech need to go into local TV.
Totally. Question of the day, but first, Kevin has an announcement.
I do, a trumpet blaring.
Yeah,
thank you. I did a little Facebook campaign where I would get anchors and reporters to tell me their stories about coming up in the industry.
I like this, it's cute.
It's a cute little idea. And we did one with Tamsin Fidel from WPIX, and it got a huge response. And I asked on social media for anchors and reporters around the country to do the same, and I didn't hear anything. So I'm going to relaunch that.
Cool.
Look for it on TVSpy.
And to end this show, we're going with the question of the day, which people have not answered, but we are persevering people.
That's right. There's no quit in TVSpy.
There is no quit. So here you go. This week, we want to know about your station's social media policy.
Yes.
Do you have one? And if you do you agree with it or disagree with it? We recognize this is a heated topic, so we want you to send your answers to his anonymous tip line.
That's right. And you can see it. It's on the page. You just click on it, and the little box comes up. You type in your answer and send it to me.
We're interested in this, so please participate.
So that's it for this show?
Yeah, week 3. As always, email us.
Yes,
we'll put
please.
our emails in the Facebook post.
Yes.
And if you have any questions or you have any ideas for us, let us know. Anyway,
Yeah,
see you.
that's it. Thank you so much.
Bye.